This is Top Shop Podcast.
Shop Podcast.
Top Shop Podcast.
Podcast for automotive service business owners by Paul Donahue.
Hey, other repair shop owners. We are here at the Spring MAP Conference in St. Louis, Missouri. Instead of being at a hotel, which is where most of the Motorist Assurance Program conferences are held, we are at Hunter Engineering. We happen to be in their research and development building right now. So they're graciously letting MAP AMRA use the recreation center. So we got a great guest for one of our mini podcasts. It's David Martin. He's a manager at Black's Tire and Wheel Service. Now, Black's Tire and Wheel has 60 retail locations in North and South Carolina and 28 commercial locations. So David has served as the Director of Equipment and Tool Supply for ATD, the American Tire Distributors, for 14 years. And 7 years, Board of Directors, served as the president, by the way, for TIA, the Tire Industry Association. So David, welcome. We appreciate you taking your time out of the MAP conference to come meet with us. So let me see if I can get a couple questions here.
All right.
What investments is Black's making in terms of technology and training programs to help your repair shop stay current with rapidly evolving technologies such as like electric and autonomous?
Well, obviously being here at the MAP conference is a part of that.
Right.
Because they are presenting and have industry experts who help us make those decisions based on the information they share. And we're able to take that information back, review where do we need to set aside money for or allocate our funds for those investments. So we've been upgrading platforms on our IT part internally because we also have 10 distribution centers, wholesale distribution centers.
Okay.
And we're serving 7,000 customers in the mid-Atlantic area.
Oh, wow. Okay. To the wholesale. So what do you do exactly at Black's?
Well, I work with management to bring forward equipment programs with Hunter Engineering, as well as tool and supply programs from a variety of vendors that are here. Bartech with TPMS, ATEC with TPMS, Schrader International is a Sensata company. They also are sensors and TPMS products that we source. So a lot of the variety of vendors that call on us, I work with them to bring programs forward for the retail locations we own, as well as bringing that product forward to our customer base of 7,000 retailers.
Okay, so yeah, all right. So how's your company adapting to meet the increasingly stringent environmental regulations such as emission standards, disposal, and hazardous materials? Can you answer that one?
Well, that's always a challenge.
Yeah, I know.
Keith Noble, who is here today with me, is in charge of that from the retail side of our business.
Okay.
And Keith is intimately involved. I'm not involved in that segment.
So in other words, you got somebody on top of it 24/7.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Can you share any initiatives or products aimed at promoting sustainability you guys are utilizing, eco-friendly replacement parts, recycling, et cetera?
Well, we're definitely involved in working with Keith on some projects. The recycling of the oil is a part of what we do. Collecting batteries and make sure they're disposed of correctly as well.
Right.
So we're following a lot of the industry standards when it comes to making sure we dispose of or handle hazardous materials correctly.
Right, yeah. And that's what I'm sure. So all 60 locations are all MAP, Motorist
Yes.
Assurance Program, auto repair facilities.
Correct.
And that's the importance of MAP, and that's the importance of why your shop should belong to MAP. So the Motorist Assurance Program gives you a set of guidelines and standards that you can go to your customer with and say, hey, look, the Motorist Assurance Program and the original manufacturer, by the way, said that these struts should have been replaced then. So it's not you saying that the struts need to be replaced or some part or whatever needs to be replaced. It's the Motorist Assurance Program. It's the OEM. So you use those third-party tools to take the monkey off your back, and so the customer doesn't think that, hey, you're just trying to get more money out of them. No, what the auto repair industry is trying to do is repair I forgot what the number was. There's a stupid number of cars that are on the road now that all need some kind of service. I forgot what those numbers are. They're outrageous. So, the auto repair shop owner is always trying to, because they want the service, they want the business. So MAP is there to help bridge that gap for you guys. So there is a lot of competition in the marketplace. How's Black's, different from your competitors?
Well, the credo at Black's is family, trust, serve. And we go to market to our customers to help our customers in that same way as the way we treat our internal business partners who are employees of Blacks.
Right.
But also we take that to our customer base, and we believe in treating customers like family. And I just read a letter that came in about one of our locations that was getting ready to close, and a lady was traveling from New York to Florida, had trouble, couldn't find anybody to work on her vehicle, and she wrote a very beautiful, eloquent letter to thank our team members at that retail location that stayed open late and took care of her.
And helped her.
Absolutely.
So she could stay on the road.
So she could get to her destination.
That's awesome. All right, that's awesome. Are there any specific tools, resources, or partnerships that you're offering to your shops to help enhance their diagnostic and repair capabilities?
Well, obviously, there are a lot of vendors here at this event.
That do just that, diagnostic.
That is exactly.
A lot of
So being a part of AMR and MAP and taking advantage of the relationships we've made here and taking those back, and then the vendors then coming to see us or help train us has been tremendous help and immeasurable asset for us.
Right, okay. David's a different guest. He works with a company that has, 100 locations, or 88 commercial and retail locations, and then distribution centers.
As well as 80 service trucks on the road
Right.
every day, and a retread facility in the Carolinas.
Oh, you have a retread facility also.
As
So,
well, yes.
so let me ask you this, because this would be more aligned for the auto repair shop owners. Do you know how your company, you have to have a lot of techs.
Absolutely.
So how is your company finding, hiring, and retaining techs?
Well, we're in the same boat everybody else is in
I know,
right
you
now.
know.
And you could say that it's easy, but it's
No,
not.
it's not. We already know it's not.
We were just discussing, we have a initiative where we go into the trade schools.
Okay, you go
And-
directly to the trade schools long before they ever graduate.
We do career days out
Okay.
there to try and bring new employees in.
Right, okay.
To the market.
And this has been a successful tactic that a lot of independent repair shop owners that I've interviewed on Top Shop Podcast has said the same thing. They do not wait around. They go out to the tech schools, they go out to the colleges, they go out to the high schools, and they start talking to them early on to find those good techs.
If I might add on
Sure.
that, there's an opportunity there from an industry standpoint that's being missed. And when I was involved with the Tire Industry Association and on that board of directors, this was something we discussed extensively and trying to find ways to support shop owners that were members of TIA. And that was finding ways for them to convey to new employees a career path that's available in the industry. Because I started out at the bottom of the business.
Okay.
I started out on a Snap-on tool truck, actually.
No kidding, really?
And that's where I began.
That's where you know your career, that's how you got
That's
started?
how I got started in the industry.
Wow.
And then one of our dinner guests last night started out as changing tires in a shop in Tire Kingdom shops in Florida.
Wow.
So he was a tire tech. So the ones of us that have had the good fortune to gravitate into other positions and grow our careers, that's a story that we need to share with technicians that are looking to come in, because it doesn't have to stop there if they don't want it to.
Correct. Yeah, that's a really good point. I haven't really had that brought up before. When you're talking to these potential future techs, let them know that, hey, you've been in contact or seen videos on the internet, such as Top Shop Podcast or whatever, where, a guy that was on a Snap-on truck, manager of, a massive,
A huge business
Sure.
within American Tire and now with BTS.
Yeah, I can't tell you
large
how many
business unit.
I can't tell you how many people are in that room right over there right now that started in this industry doing something. He just mentioned a tire tech. Somebody came out as a tire tech. They're in that room over there. They're working with some large corporation, making a very decent salary. But how did they start out? As a tire tech. So there's really no limits. It's like any other industry or business. It all depends on the mentality of the person. So how many people started out sweeping floors that are now master ASC techs?
That's right.
A lot of them, because they had desire, they wanted to grow in the industry, they wanted to learn, they took the training, they wanted to get the higher pay. And, which was really smart, because techs now, there, when I was going to high school and you were an auto tech repairing cars, it was, it didn't pay that much. So now there's techs making six figures at shops.
Absolutely.
So.
But they don't get there starting out there.
Right, yeah.
They have to build their way into it like
sure.
any industry.
Yeah.
And that's where it's incumbent on us as employers to show a pathway for that employee and help build them into that ASE Master Tech.
Right.
Because they don't necessarily know how to go through that process, but we can help them and should, because we're building the future when we're doing that.
Right, yeah. So let me ask you a couple of questions about MAP. How important is MAP, the Motorist Assurance Program, to Blackstar, to your organization?
Well, very, because our commitment is we have 3 people here on our company dime.
Right.
That came out here for this event because of when you look across the platform of our company, you have multiple business units, and they are all impacted by the information provided by MAP at these technical conferences. And when I came on board with Blacks about 2 years ago, Keith Noble and I came to an event together, and that's when he embraced it and said, we've got to get more engaged with this event and be a partner with MAP in a way that we haven't been.
Right,
So
okay.
we encourage you to, any of your shop owners, please reach out to us. We'll encourage you and give you information to help you with your business.
Yeah. How does MAP help you guys build trust with your customers?
Well, because of the MAP process, because
Sure.
you're looking at pricing and you're looking at being able to build trust with customers. And when you have a organization like MAP behind you with your best practices, that can present very well to your customers if you educate your customers about why you do what you do and how you price your business.
All right, awesome. And why should other organizations join AMRA? I think you've already kind of mentioned it, but why should other companies and organizations join AMRA?
Well, just industry knowledge. If you have an EV coming into your building and you have not had the challenge yet of lifting one on any of your current products that you have from a lift perspective, you don't know what you're getting into. So technology is changing rapidly, and if you're not involved with MAP, you're going to miss a lot of things that you could learn by having MAP involvement.
All right, yeah, and as our previous guest had mentioned, MAP and AMRA is so on top of the legislation that's coming out of Washington constantly, and then feeding that to its members so you guys stay up to date.
So when the importance of this is your involvement as a business owner, you pay taxes in your district. You can call your legislator and you can look at what legislation is in front of your particular state, and you can get involved and make a difference, because having been in Washington with TIA and had meetings with NHTSA, they don't understand if we are not pushing from our end to our legislators. And I want to really emphasize this to you, because the power is at grassroots level, and we are able to drive change and stop legislation, just like the right to repair that was just changed at NHTSA. They came out in favor of right to repair being not put into legislation, and they reversed that decision because of people like us that pushed in Washington to make that right to repair our right as independent tire dealers or independent businesses.
Awesome. All right, David, thanks for your time today. We really appreciate it, taking time out of the MAP conference to give us your info.
My pleasure, and thank you all.
For additional automotive resources and exclusive content, follow us on Spotify and subscribe to our YouTube channel to catch all our episodes. Thanks again for joining us in the driver's seat, and we'll see you next time for another thrilling episode of Top Shop.